Let's look at arrays. And we're going to specifically talk about arrays that contain objects. So first thing you want to make sure you do when you're dealing with arrays is always import the java.util.arrays class. There's a lot of useful methods in there, and we're going to use one of them today. So what is an array? So an array is a container object that holds a fixed number of values of a single type. So an array of objects is no different than an array of primitive data types. So an array of primitive data types could hold integers, floats, doubles, chars, booleans, and so forth. Now, an array of objects would contain various other different types, such as maybe it contains bank accounts, or maybe it contains fractions or points, or something, some object of some variety type. Now, recall that an array is a container object that holds a fixed number of values of a single type. Now, previously, we've worked with arrays of primitive data types, such as integers or doubles. So let's refresh our memory on how we can create them. So this here creates an array of integers of length 10. So int x, and we're indicating that x is an array using the open and close bracket, and then new int, and then here, this is the size, 10. Now let's look at an array of bank accounts, also of length 10. So instead of int, you just say, hey, here's the object type. It's a bank account. You give it a name, brackets, and then new bank account, and then the size. So again, length 10. Now that we've created it, we can fill it with bank account objects. So we can put in index 0, new bank account, in index 1, another bank account, index 3, another bank account. So I could also fill in stuff into index 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 9. Remember, the index values of an array go from 0 to the length minus 1. So even though the length is 10, the index values are 0 through 9. Now, what happens when we try to print an array like this? If I just try to system.out.println the array, what ends up happening is it's going to print not the values, but it prints the location. And it's not really useful to us. So let's look at what that looks like. That's what it prints. Not terribly useful. Now, if we want to print your array, we traverse it, and spots that we didn't fill are null. Notice we only filled in spots 0, 1, and 3. So here how I can do it. I can traverse it. I go from 0 to the length of the array, and then I print out the individual index. And it looks quite nice. Here's what it looks like. So index 0, 1, 2, 3, and you notice all of them are null that don't have data in them. But remember, we imported java.util.arrays, so we can use one of the arrays method. The arrays toString method allows us to print an array. So toString takes an array parameter, and it's static. That's why it's known as arrays.toString. So this will allow me to print the array, and it prints it quite nice. Prints it, you got a bracket, puts in commas in here, and that's what it looks like. And that's the basic idea of how we use arrays to contain objects. And that's the end of this lesson.